Well, guys, I gotta put this over here because I need a table. Boy, this bag is getting heavier and heavier. Gee. I gotta watch where I put it though. Because if I put it on the floor out here, the boys may decide it belongs to them. And we'll have a marking war. So, but anyway, today's Saturday. Nice day. Nice day. There's no sense looking at this, but we'll look at it anyway because it's going to be 87 in here. It's 73 outside, 78 in here. Well, that's changed a little bit, but it's just a nice day. The humidity is really low, so it's a nice day. Even got a little breeze. I don't know if you hear it or not, but here we are. So I'll be with you guys in just a minute. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. Actually, I haven't had coffee. Oh, Jesus. I'll have to think about that. I'll get back to you in a minute. Well, guys, coffee, as I was saying. It's been, let me see, Monday. This past Monday, I had a cup of coffee when I went out for coffee with the guys. Prior to that, it was like Tuesday of the week prior. So I would say within the last 2 weeks, I had 1 cup of coffee. I've been drinking a lot of tea with black decaf tea with ginger sprinkled in it, and I found that to be quite enjoyable. So, but other than that, I needed a coffee. That's all there was to it. So I had my coffee, had my breakfast. Today is Saturday. It is 11:40. It is August 24th, 2019. And it's, again, a gorgeous day out there today. 73 outside, and nice breeze, just a nice day. Today we're going to finish the house. Like I said, there wasn't much there to finish, to be honest with you, because if I've got maybe 100 square feet, which is about a 10 by 10, if that, that's a lot. So we're going to get that done and get it out of the way. I was going to get it done earlier this week, but I just felt my shot. I did blah, it was the heat, I don't know if it was just me not feeling right. I have no idea. Was I not eating, dehydrating? Who the hell knows? But, I also, yesterday, which was Friday, I went and had my colonoscopy and endoscopy. So they got me from both ends, and everything is okay. Everything is cool. Now, the only reason why is I've never had an endoscopy before. And I'm 70 years old. So is it going to hurt? No. So I had an endoscopy. The colonoscopy, I had one of those about 2.5 years ago. No problems, not at all. However, March, when I was in the hospital getting the ablation done on the heart, they did a complete CAT scan, and the CAT scan was showing a little irritation in my bowel area. All right. So the GI doctor that I see said it's probably nothing. I wouldn't worry about it, but if you haven't had an endoscopy yet, it's not going to hurt for us to do a follow-up and check out this irritation, to make sure everything's okay. I said, well, whatever you want to do. Now, I am not one, hey, Tuck, I am not a big guy for being put out. I just, there you go, buddy, okay? Or you want a curly? You want a curly? No? Hold on, guys. I gotta find the right thing for this guy. So I don't like to be put out. When I had my colonoscopy the first time, I was awake and I watched the whole thing. No? Okay, that's all I got, bud. That's it. Take your pick. And, you know, I was talking to the doctor. I was asking him questions about what I was looking at. You know, he says, you're looking at an asshole. All right. Smart ass, you know. But meanwhile, he has since retired, and I'm sorry that he did, because he was a good guy. Good doctor. So I'm used to being awake. Even when I had the ablation done, you know, they wanted to put me to sleep. I said, no, I says, I just want to stay awake. He says, well, we can do it while you're awake too. Not a big deal. You know, we do them both ways. I said, well, fine. So I stayed awake through that. A little bit discomfort every now and then when he burnt it. You know, when he was doing the ablation, you felt a little burning going on inside your chest, but nothing to where, you know, well, to me anyway, it was nothing that was saying, oh, God, knock me out, you know. Even though I did say to the nurse after the third one, if he's going to do this again like the one he just did, give me a little squirt, you know, just to take the edge off, because the last one he did, I mean, it really burnt, you know. I was breathing like a pregnant woman, all right? So, but at that point, like I say, it wasn't as bad as I'm making it to be, but, you know, for some people, I guess it could be. So, at that point, like I said, let's just do it. However, the doctors nowadays do not want to do it when you're awake. There's no reason why they can't do, in my opinion, a colonoscopy while you're awake. I've had it done. You can go on the internet, onto the worldwide YouTube, and they have doctors doing it with doctors being awake, you know, and patients being awake. They have what they call a underwater flush. Doesn't mean that you're underwater, but what they do is they run warm water into your track, and it kind of soothes it and rinses it, and they do what they got to do. And you know, the guy that was having it done says all he feels is a little pressure every now and then, but other than that, you know, it wasn't nothing that he wouldn't do again. You know, so again, it's just that I don't know if the doctors don't trust the patient as much, because if the patient does get upset and start moving and jumping around, they can cause damage. So, I mean, that could have a lot to do with it. You know, if the doctor gets to know you, it may be different. So, you know, I guess it depends on the doctor. But around here, most times now, knocking you out. That's all there is to it. Now, I don't like to be put out. I don't like to be out of control. You know, but again, there's really nothing wrong with it. You know, you kind of fall asleep and you kind of wake up refreshed. You know, so it wasn't too bad. You know, and there's no after effect. You know, you're not waking up vomiting or throwing up or anything. So it's not the same stuff that they use if they're going to perform a surgery, for instance. I don't think it is anyway. But at that point, you know, they do it. And I think a lot of it too is now for, you know, like I say, doctor not knowing you, you know, and not wanting to take a chance. And the other is when they put you out, there's more money being spread around. You know, because now you need an anesthesiologist. You know, you need, you know, hospital. You know, things like that. So they want to put you out. You know, and my own doctor, Joe, the doctor that I used to have, which is a nice guy. I actually want to try to get a hold of him just to bullshit with him a little bit. How you been? How you doing? But at that point, you know, it's just, I said, what is it? He goes, well, listen. He says, for most part, it's safer to put you out, especially in some people. He says, but it is more money. So, you know, he was honest with me. That's what I liked about the doctors that I had, and that's the doctors I'm trying to find now. You know, ones that are going to think and not just be one way, that way, my way, or no way. You know what I mean? We're always right. We're never wrong. I don't like those doctors. So, You know, I said to my doctor at one time, if my heart doctor didn't clear me being put out for the colonoscopy and the endoscopy, how would you do it? She goes, well, we wouldn't do it. I go, well, how would you test to do it? You know, because if you can't do it one way, there must be another way. If it has to get done, it has to get done. You know? And she says, well, there's other ways. Well, she didn't want to get into the other ways. You know, I mean, yeah, I'm on her time right now. Even though I'm paying for that time, the quicker she gets me out, the quicker she gets home, because the quicker she gets everybody else out. So why do I need to answer a lot of questions? Now, I trust her, but she's like to the point her way right now. You know, and until she gets to know me, you know, I guess it's going to have to be that way for a while. However, you know, what other ways are there? Okay, yeah, they can test. You know, they send the kit home, and you know, you put a little sample on it, and you send it back, and they check to see if you have any abnormals, you know, like cancer or anything. But it doesn't tell them if you have any polyps. You know, it just tells you that you're clear from disease. But if there's a polyp can cause a problem down the line. So when they're in there, they snip out the polyp. You know, now I didn't have any polyps or anything like that, so it wasn't a big deal. And a polyp is not a big deal as long as they catch it ahead of time. So, but meanwhile, so much for that. I know I'm pacing back and forth, guys. I'm sorry, but you know, I'm just ratchet jawing here, if that's what you want to call it. And so anyway, it was done. And I know I was on a track going someplace. I just forgot the track I was on. So when I remember it, I'll come back to it. So, but other than that, that's about it. Now the endoscopy, that's a little different. You know, I'm sure, you know, I mean, I've had things stuck up my nose and down my throat. And if you're a gagger, you just let them know, listen, I'm a gagger. They spray some crap up your nose, you know, and it numbs your throat so you don't gag. You know, and I even watch that. You know, now they're not going down into the gut. They're just checking out my throat and things like that, just to make sure everything's okay. You know, and that's a different story. So, but if they're going to go all the way down, you know, and do an endoscopy, then I can understand them wanting to put you out. Now, even though you have a gag reflex, they can take care of that. But if you clear your throat, you know, like because you're awake, you know, or or anything like that, it could rupture the wall, and that can cause some serious problems. I mean, serious. It could become serious problems. So they want to make sure that you're still when they're doing these things. Now, the colonoscopy is the same, but not quite as bad. You know, as far as it goes, the chances of them rupturing a wall is not quite as bad as them rupturing a wall going down into your throat and into your gut. So, but other than that, everything is fine. You know, no problems, which I didn't expect to be. You know, like I say, the only reason why I had it done is because when I had the ablation done, they also did a full CAT scan, and they said, oh, there's a little irritation in your bowels or in your butt or wherever they want to put it. You know, so, you know, keep an eye on it. All right, what am I going to do? Stick my head up my ass to keep an eye on it. You know, hello. So, and that's the only reason why the doctor that I'm seeing now, which is a new GI doctor to me, you know, I started seeing her just recently, to be honest with you, February, I think it was, you know, just to have a GI doctor. So my first appointment with her was basically just to get to see if I want to like her, if we're on the same track, you know, is everything going to be okay? Does she listen to me? You know, do I listen to her? You know, that type of thing. And I said, you know what, it could work. I got to give it a chance. So, because I had to change, oh, my doctors are all retiring, so I had to look for a whole new group. Luckily, the doctor that I had, Joe, he's, you know, he's a well-known doctor around here. everybody wants him, but it was just getting to a point to where he was just getting, you know, he wasn't taking any more patients. You know, there's a lot of doctors not taking patients around here nowadays. So to find a doctor that's taking new patients, and a good one, is hard to find. So Joe says, go see Antonio. All right, and at that point, you know, tell him that I recommended you. So I went to see him, and you know, we get along. He's a good guy, you know. You know, he sits there, he talks, and he says, well, instead of trying this or going down and doing an endoscopy and all that first, he says, or me putting you on a medication, you know, for any gas or acid reflux, because I used to have an acid reflux problem, but I haven't taken any medication in probably, well, I looked at the script. The script, my last script was 2015. So I haven't taken anything for that since then. You know, a little ginger tea every now and then, or at night I'll have a little ginger tea, on and off. It's not a constant thing with me, but he said, well, before we go nuts, he says, I want you to take, I forgot what it was now. It's like, you buy it for heartburn. You know, it's like a Pepto-Bismol thing, but it's not that. I'll have to find out what it was again. I got it in the fridge. You buy it over the counter. One's like an antacid and one's another one. You know, they're peppermint flavored. You put them in the fridge, they're nice and cold. But meanwhile, you mix it. You mix like, well, if I had a syringe, I can show you. But if you were to take a syringe, you make a syringe full. I might as well just let you know what the hell it is. Let me get a syringe out so you know. So if you guys have a bad problem with acid reflux, give you an idea what he told me and what you can do. Syringe about this size. Okay, this is 3. This is a little small. Okay, right here. This is it. 10. He says you take 10 millimeters of one, 10 millimeters of the other, mix it up together real good. He says, and what that does is it neutralizes all the acids in your stomach. He says, now, if over, you know, half an hour or so, if everything seems to go away, he says, now we know what we need to do. You know, let's neutralize the acids first to see if that's the problem before I start giving you things. You know, so, you know, I did that. You know, and I really didn't have the problem to start with, but it did feel a little bit better, you know, so he said, well, you know what, we'll see what happens, you know, keep an eye on it. I don't want to just hand out medication if you don't need it, you know, again, which is good. You know, he says, so, you know, see how it works. If you need some quick relief, do that mixture, you know, don't do it every night, don't make it, this is just a test to give us an idea where we're going. But at that point, you know, we'll take it from there. Now, when the GI doctor did the endoscopy, she did say you do have a little bit of inflammation, so you should or may go back on an antacid. Okay, so now we know. Yeah. So, oh, here another thing. Now that I'm talking about doctors. Now I'm recording, but it doesn't say what I'm recording, so I have no idea how long this is, guys. But when I first had my heart attack, you know, it was strange. It was it was chest pain. But as long as I laid down, I was fine. And if I walked around slow, I was fine. You know, I mean, it was good at one day and bad the next, that type of thing. Yeah, but come to find out, and I found this out by one of these doctors that I talk to a lot. And I'm seeing a heart doctor, by the way, when I was doing this. I no longer use that heart doctor. Now, he was supposed to be top in his field. However, I went to him 4 or 5 times within a month. And he kept telling me it's acid reflux. It's acid reflux. All right, so I said, okay. So I go to see the GI doctor that had since retired, And he says, well, before I go up and things, he says, I want to make sure that you have a stress test because it doesn't sound like acid reflux. So he called my doctor to make an appointment for a stress test. Well, I go for the stress test the following Monday. This was on a Thursday. The following Monday, I go for the stress test. And when I get there, which is up here in Guilford, he says, well, they're telling me you're in the wrong office. You're supposed to be in New Haven. I go, no, I don't go to New Haven. You know, I've been coming here for years. You know that. This is where I come. Well, he's in New Haven. Well, I got pissed. I said, listen, I don't give a fly, and this is just what I said, so excuse my language. I don't give a flying fuck, all right, who he is, where he is, or what he's doing. This is where I was told to come. Somebody in this fucking building's got to have something to do for this fucking pain that I got. Now, I'm standing there with a shirt open, sweating like a pig, with a wet towel around my neck. Everybody in the waiting room walked out into the hallway. She goes, oh, are you in pain now? Oh, well, a few more words came out to this bimbo. And she says, well, hold on. And she goes in the back and she gets one of the associates of this doctor that was supposed to be doing my thing. Dr. Prescott was his name. So I said, okay. The guy comes, another doctor comes out, brings me into the back, sits me down. They give me a nitroglycerin and an aspirin. Now, I didn't know what it was at the time. I knew the aspirin. They were breaking it up in a spoon. The nitro, I really didn't know what that was. But they said, here, take the aspirin and put this under your tongue and let's sit here for a minute. Well, the pain went away. I says, great. Give me a prescription. All right? Yeah, no. You don't understand. You're having a heart attack. This is going on for 4 or 5 weeks. All right? They called it the Widowmaker. So meanwhile, I find out later if this asshole professional heart doctor knew anything, he could have gave me a script or even got it and gave it to me there if he had it there. You take like a Malox or something and they put a lidocaine in it of some sort. So when you take the shot, it numbs everything. Well, if it goes away, well, then that means you've got an acid problem or you got a digestive problem because the lidocaine just, desensitized, your throat and everything. So if it was acid reflux, it's going to go away. If it's a heart issue, it's not going to go away. Well, all he had to do was give me that damn thing, and I would have known, all right off the bat what it was, instead of him saying, you got acid reflux. A week later, what's the problem? Well, I saw the pain. Well, you have acid reflux. 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, well, you have acid reflux. All right? Yeah, I like to stick the acid reflux up your ass. So, but needless to say, I no longer use that doctor. I got another heart doctor, which is part of Yale. Now, just because they're part of Yale doesn't mean they're the best doctors in the world. But Yale does have a pretty good reputation. You want this one, buddy? No? Okay. No? Okay. They have a pretty good reputation. They're one of the supposedly top 10 hospitals in the country. At one time, they were the top 3 or so. And they'd say that they would have been number 1, but because of the location that they're in, it kind of apparently brought down their ratings somehow. I don't know, to be honest with you, how that all works. But Yale is basically buying up most of Connecticut. They bought out St. Raphael's Hospital. They bought out the Milford Hospital. No matter where you go, you see Yale. The doctors nowadays, private practice, Yale is looking to buy them out, almost like a monopoly, that type of thing, but so much for that. All right, guys, I kept you long enough on my bullshit, so I'm going to finish my coffee, do a few things that I haven't been doing out here for a while, get caught up, go see what I got to mix for the house, and but first I'm going to sit down and read some emails I have out here, because these emails that come in out here do not come in there. So I have to check the emails out here. Oh, then I got this stuff in. This is from, I think I did a video on it. I don't know. Hey, Lance. You're okay, buddy. Lay down. This is from that stone coat. And this is called their art coat. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on, guys. I know what you want. You want one of these. Huh? Is this what you want? Hold on. This what you want? Oh, you think so? When you're over here, it must be. Is that what you want? No? Well, I don't know you, buddy. You got a little buddy out here. Here, take what you want. Anything you want, you can have it there, okay? Okay. But anyway, and this is an easy mix. You know, it's a 1-to-1 basically. You know, you put an ounce of one, you put an ounce of another. You know, if I put 12 millimeters or centimeters or whatever it is from the syringe, I put the same amount in the other. So it's an easy mix. That's an easy mix if you want to work it the way they want you to work it. And you use their pump that they want to sell you to pump it. So, but for most part, I mean, it's okay. The West system is great. It's big in the marine community. Blah, blah. Yeah, you know, the mariners like it because it is good for that. You know, but you use it for the way it is with the mix that they offer and the pumps that they offer, or you weigh it on a scale. So, all right, I'll catch you guys later.